G'day everyone, welcome to another episode of Dingle DIY. If you are new here, I'm Rob Dingledye and this is my YouTube channel all about teaching you guys how to do more things yourself. Now, this here is my new project car. Picked this up second hand. It's a Honda CR-V 2013. It's got a K24 engine. You may have heard of it, you may have not, but it's pretty popular as a engine to put into engine swaps in kind of sports cars and drift cars and things. It's kind of becoming a lot more popular. So what that means is this is a reliable engine and a pretty reliable car as far as I know. So even though it's got about 160,000 kilometers on it, I'm not concerned. I'm pretty sure I'll get a good amount of life out of this engine and the rest of the car. Now I wanted to make this separate video because I'm going to be doing a bunch of things to this car to build it up to do a road trip around Australia. Now I've already got a pretty serious four-wheel drive in the form of a Toyota Hilux. Now I've done a lot of mods to that, which I did before I started making YouTube videos. And the videos that I have done on it are pretty average, so that thing's well capable of doing all the off-road stuff, but it's not fuel efficient and I can't sleep in the back of it because it's a ute. So this will be replacing my partner's Honda Jazz, and we will be taking this around Australia, which I'm pretty excited for. But in its current form, I'm not exactly happy with it. There are a few things I want to do to it. So if you are wondering about doing more, road trips, overlanding, not necessarily four-wheel driving, but definitely taking it on gravel roads and things like that. And because I'm going to be doing such a massive road trip, I'm going to be trying to get more reliability. I'll be changing the tyres so that they're more up to the task. I'll be doing a major service, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I'll be doing roof racks and a roof basket. I'm going to be building a bed in the back, but one that you can remove and one that doesn't require you to permanently remove the back seats. It's going to be pretty modular, so I'm excited to build that. I'm going to clean it up because it's new to me, and we'll bring some life back into this thing. Wheels, possibly a suspension lift, but there's not much out there for these cars. And I'll just generally be kitting it out for camping. So if you're into your camping or your Honda CR-Vs, is a good reason to subscribe to this channel because I'll be starting a brand new series all to do with this car, all to do with making your own camping stuff like water tanks, battery boxes, things like that to make your life a little bit easier. And yeah, just general upgrades on the CR-V. So make sure you subscribe, keep yourself updated with this build if you want. You can turn notifications on, that'll notify you every time I release a new video. And from here on out, and pretty much until lockdown ends and the state borders open up for me, I'm going to be upgrading this thing and getting it prepared for an epic overlanding road trip. Now because this is a family car and not exactly a off-road beast, there's not a lot of aftermarket support in the way of lift kits and things like that, or bar work and your typical off-road upgrades. Now this thing is all-wheel drive, so I will be able to drive it on the beach, which is pretty much the reason I bought it as well. So there is going to be a bit of a journey of discovery, figuring out lift kits. There are lifted springs and there are strut spacers and things like that, so that'll be its own can of worms. The nudge bar, I don't want to spend upwards of $1,000 on a nudge bar. I'm going to buy a second-hand one and modify it to suit. That's going to give me somewhere to mount some spotlights. And I don't have to chop up the front bar to get it all to work. So that's another thing you can keep your eyes out for. I'm still figuring it out. I've already picked up a steel one for $100, but it is pretty heavy. So I'm looking into alloy options. So I might pick up an alloy one to save some weight. And then from there I'll be modifying it to figure out how I can bolt it to the underneath of the car, and it's just going to give me extra protection against potential wildlife. It happens out in Australia, hitting a kangaroo is actually pretty common, so I want to avoid that, one, by installing lights, but worst case scenario, if something caves the front end of this car in, hopefully a nudge bar is going to protect the radiator enough so that I can at least drive it somewhere to get the car fixed, or get myself out of a otherwise pretty nasty situation. Now I'm not going to bore you with the details and the brochure and all that kind of stuff. This is a relatively modern car, and it's got all the bells and whistles that you'd expect. It doesn't have sat nav, but it's got a reverse camera, cruise control, all that crap, which is going to be a whole lot nicer compared to driving a manual without all that stuff. Now there are a couple of cool little features that I haven't really seen in another car before, so I'm just going to show those off real quick. Alright, so this is the inside of the car. Now as I said earlier, nothing too crazy. It's got backup camera, all your stereo, good air conditioning. There's no heated seats or electric seats or anything like that. Plenty of steering wheel controls. It's Tiptronic, so it's got these paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Cruise control, it's got an economy button which changes the way the air conditioning works and the way the engine operates in the mid-range power band, so that's pretty great. That'll just help me change the way I drive. I'm a bit of a lead foot, so that button there is going to save me a lot of petrol. It's got traction control, all the safety stuff you'd expect. And one thing I like about the up front of this car is the handbrake is a foot brake, so a park brake you should call it, which means there's no lever in this center console here, which opens it up for plenty of storage, which I really like. Now, my favorite part of this car, which surprised me after I bought it, is in the back, so I'll show you that now. Alright, there's plenty of cargo space, but that's not why I brought you back here. There's these two little levers that you can pull, and they will lift up the back seat, fold down the backrest and the headrest, and level out the boot completely. So check this out. Now there is a roll-up sunshade here which can give you some more security over whatever you got in the boot. And one thing you might not know is if it's in the way of your back seat situation, you can actually pull it out and there's a spot down low. And it'll clip in down there just like that. Alright, I'll be honest, there's only one thing I don't like about this car, and it's the fact that you can't open the boot from the inside. So there's no buttons or levers up the front. The only way you can open it is from outside at that handle. Now there is a emergency kind of a plastic flap that you can pop off, and then there is something I read in the manual, and you can twist something with a screwdriver, and that'll open it up. Now I'm not too interested in getting a screwdriver every time I want to get out of bed if I'm sleeping in here, so I might look into that and maybe modify it, or see if I can add some cables, or maybe a separate switch, or I mean, who knows, but it'd be nice, yeah, if I'm sleeping in here, that I can get out through the tailgate as opposed to, you know, crawling through the window or through the door. Alright, if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and thanks for listening to me blabber on about this new project car. Now, I just wanted to update you on what I was doing, so if you want to stay up to date with this build, make sure you subscribe. If you want to have any questions, or you want to see me do something to this car, leave it below in the comments. I always get back to the comments, so I'm open to suggestions, and if you've done something to your CRV and you absolutely love it, let me know. I might do it to mine as well. So thanks for watching, stay updated, and we'll be jumping into the mods real soon.